Hey folks, hope you're all doing well. On this episode we have Charlie, better known as Resty Rider. Let's go and meet her. Charlie, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate that. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you. Yeah, it's been a bit miserable here weather-wise. I'm not sure what it's like up where you are.
Oh, same, probably worse.
Yeah,
It's always raining up here.
yeah. I got a day off though, so no work today. I'm so yeah, happy.
Brilliant, brilliant. Shall we just get stuck into it then?
Go for it.
Okay, dokie. Question 1. What inspired you to start motovlogging?
So I was quite late in life to moto cycling, as it were. I didn't pass my test until I was 50. I'm now 53, so I've only been riding for 3 years.
Right.
And it was a kind of initially I started it as a means of almost like a video diary for me,
Yeah.
so that I could show my kids and say, this is what your crazy mother's doing. And they could then show their kids when they grow up. And my mum, so she can see what I'm up to. She can't sort of travel about. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the kind of the idea was hatched on a night shift at work, where at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, when you're kind of chewing the cud and setting the world to rights, it was actually my colleague who said, if he wanted to know anything or if he wanted to find out about anything, he just looks online. He looks
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, yeah, so do I actually. I don't watch terrestrial TV anymore. I
No,
watch,
no.
a few media channels and YouTube. And if you want to know anything, that's where you look.
Yeah.
And he said, you should start recording your journeys. And, nobody is going to want to watch a 50-year-old midlife crisis beginner rider doing random things. And apparently they do. So that's how it started.
Well, you've got what? I think you're up about nearly 20,000 subs or something.
Yeah, sort of, high 17,000, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So in seriously, in about 2 and a bit years.
yeah.
So
That's good. Really good. Yeah, excellent.
pleased with that.
Yeah. Do you remember your first motovlog? What was it like looking back now?
It was pretty bad. So I started out with pretty much a phone, and just doing little shorts and things. I think the longest I did was 4 or 5 minutes. Didn't really start properly until 6 months after my license, when I decided I was going to ride up to Aberdeen to see my brother,
Yeah.
on my little 350 single. And that trip suddenly just launched my YouTube channel. And
Yeah.
by the time I got back, I'd gone from a couple of hundred up to 1,000 subscribers. And I'm like, people actually want to watch this. It's great.
How has your content evolved since you started?
I think I enjoy the editing process.
Yeah,
Weirdly,
me too.
it takes time,
Yeah.
and it's quite. Yeah, I think you've got to enjoy it because it is quite a labour of love.
Yeah.
But the content itself, I think the quality's got better.
Yep.
I think I'm more kind of focused, so I try and create like a little storyboard, nothing physical, but in my head, if I'm heading out for the day, I'll have I need to do a, welcome bit. I need to do this
Yeah.
is what I'm doing bit. You have a middle bit and an ending. And it's very easy to kind of get back and look at all your footage and then realize you've not really got anything at all. So I think I've evolved more in a structured way,
Yeah.
trying to kind of create something that flows.
More confident doing it maybe as well. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I'm still very aware that not everyone likes, you coming up and shoving a camera in their face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm very conscious of that. I've only done like one or two interviews, I think, with people. I think Jackie Furness was one who wrote a fantastic book about her travels.
Right.
And I kind of, I feel a bit kind of self-conscious doing interviews. I'm much better just rambling on the bike, which,
I'm the same.
which is what I
I'm
do.
I'm fine when I'm on the bike. It's when you turn the camera towards me, that's what I don't, I'm not that comfortable with it really. Yeah.
No, it is very, very different being on the other side of it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely. Yeah, for sure.
When you're just rambling and things are just coming out of your head, it's like your own little inner monologue.
Yeah, yeah. What would you do differently if you were to start again?
I thought about that, and do you know what? I don't think I'd actually do anything differently.
Right. Okay.
I started off really basic, not really knowing what I'm doing. Still, kind of don't. I learn as I go along. It's been a very learning experience,
Mhm.
and I'm enjoying it. And I think I've made mistakes, and I've learned from those.
Yeah, that's
And I think
exactly
if
it.
I'd
Yeah.
if I'd have just gone in trying to sort of, with the best quality everything and a really good plan and a really good structure, um, I'm not sure it would have worked. So I've kind of honed things as I've gone
Yeah.
along, really,
Yeah.
and will continue to. So
Learned your trade.
yeah, and
Time goes on.
it's got to be a hobby. It's got to be something you enjoy.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm going to be financially independent on
Yeah.
ever. So I'm not itchy boots. I mean, she
Yeah.
she can put out something and come out with hundreds of thousands of views in half an hour.
She's got 2.5 million subscribers or something she's got.
It is a lot, and fair play. She does a
She
lot of
is very
travel.
good. Yeah.
She works
She
very
is
hard
good.
at it.
Yeah.
And it's all she does. Whereas, for most of us, we've also got full-time or
Full
part-time
time.
jobs.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
you got to fit it in, really,
Yeah, this is it. Yep.
and enjoy it.
Yeah. What bike or bikes are you currently riding and why?
And why? Well, I've currently got three technically in the garage.
Okay.
So one is this 1954 BSA, which was put together as a project by my family. We lost my dad 9 years ago now.
Okay.
He was a very avid British bike enthusiast
Yep.
and would buy boxes of bits at auction and then put them all together. And there was one box of bits he never got round to putting together, and one was this BSA. And I can show you a picture of that one as to how it was. Helps if I put my glasses on that. Oh, I can see. This box of bits started out as like a frame like that, basically.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And we put this thing together with a lot of love. And I took it to a rally that my dad used to kind of organize. And he was one of the safety marshals at this rally. And my aim, and that kind of the reason that I started riding in the first place, was that I wanted to take one of his bikes round this rally.
Yeah.
So this 1954 BSA, this was the one that we put together, and is a very oily rag box of nuts,
Yeah.
but it's great. Love it.
I think
Needs a,
you've done a few videos on that bike, haven't you?
I have. I've
Working on
kind
it,
of
yeah.
yeah. I've it still needs work doing to it, and currently it's not where I am. It's kind of 50 miles in over near my mum. So I need to get it over here so I can work on it. It needs new carb. It needs sort
Yeah.
of timing and stuff. So there's that one. Then I've got Betty the Bobber, Black Betty, which is a bike that is completely different to anything I ever thought I'd start to ride. Have I got a picture of Betty? I don't know. It's she's a Honda Shadow V twin bobber, which I don't
Right.
think I've got
Another
a picture
bike,
of
yeah.
her. She's absolutely great. Bit completely different style, completely different feel. You wouldn't do long journeys on her.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a she's not a long distance try. She's
No.
not a hardtail, but kind of feels like it. So yeah, just a different feel altogether.
Yeah.
And the third bike I've got is my new bike, the first new thing I've ever bought, which is the Honda. It's the CF Moto 450 MT.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that was it on arrival day. I was very lucky. I was one of the first 6 in the country to get hold of one of these bikes.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it. So it's my touring bike, my go-to bike, my long distance bike, comfortable. Going to be trying it a little bit off-road. So going to take it to the ABR festival.
All right, good.
Put it round. I've got a trail pass, so I'm going to try and put it through.
What is it they call it? The bog of doom? You can through
I'm
that?
not doing that. Know your limits. No, I will be doing. I think it's the Bridgestone and the beginners pass.
Yep.
So I'll have a go at that. But yeah, it's my value for money. I'll say it's the first thing I've ever bought brand new. So you've got the warranty, the 4-year warranty. I don't have to work on it. I don't have to worry about it. It's just my go-to.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Absolutely love that as well.
Yeah. What camera and mic setup do you use while you're vlogging?
Well, I've just recently upgraded. So when I first started out, everything I had was my phone and then secondhand kit. So I didn't want to invest in new stuff. I didn't know anything about it. So I bought a secondhand GoPro, started off with an 8, I think. Then I went up to a 10. I have now joined some subscriber thing with GoPro where you pay them an annual fee and then you can trade in your old camera for a new one.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely worth it. So I've now just upgraded to a GoPro 12.
12, yep.
Which I love because it still fits in all my old media cases and mods and things. I didn't have to splash out on that. I use the Osmo Pocket 3, which is the handheld one, which I'm actually using here as a webcam as well. That's got its own microphone you can attach, great for wandering around. It's not cheap, but that's quite an investment. It's got its own gimbal and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, nice bit of kit.
Yeah, it is, yeah. The DJI Mic setup I use as well. So I often ride with my partner and he's got a microphone in his helmet. I've got one in mine. We can talk to each other through the intercom, Cardo intercom. But it picks up, as long as he's not too far away, the mic setup picks up both of us and then puts it onto one channel on the GoPro, which is great. I've also got Insta360, which a lot of people hate. I used to get a lot of hate for the Insta360.
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah.
Have you? Do you use it much?
Yeah, every time I'm out on the bike, yeah.
So I've started to use it as like my forward-facing camera on the handlebars because it captures that angle.
Yeah.
But I need to move it around the bike more. I've seen some other people who kind of put them low down and you get some great angles.
Yeah.
But some people really hate the 360 footage, like it's distorted. And
when it's on 360 mode, the quality is not as good as a GoPro 12.
No.
But I sometimes use mine just one of the lenses, if you like, just like a normal camera, just facing back to me.
Yeah.
The quality is much better that way.
Yeah.
But it defeats the purpose of having a 360 camera then, though. But
exactly. I like it because I like being able to sort of look back at footage afterwards, especially if you're riding through mountains and things, and you often don't see what's behind you. When you look at it afterwards, you're like, oh, that was a beautiful waterfall, and I like it. I think it's great.
Yeah, me too. I like them too.
The only other thing I've added now is a drone.
Yeah.
So I really like the drone I've got. It's a DJI Pro 3 Mini drone. Yeah, I love it. It's so small, so light. So yeah, I had to go online and get all the appropriate licenses and exams and things.
Yeah, they're great. The drones make a massive difference to a video.
I love them, even if it's just a little snip. I think they're great, just to show where you are and what's going on.
Can you get it to follow you when you're on the bike?
So I haven't done yet, but I have worked out how to do it.
All
Have
right,
you, have
tell
you
me
tried
then. I've managed to do it. I've done it once. The rest of the time, it just won't do it.
So I understand you just click on the screen and there's like a square
Yep,
that comes up and then a
yep,
button that you just click that says follow me.
yep.
And that's how I've done it.
And did it
I
work?
did it. You did. I just ran around the garden with it.
I don't know.
So
I managed to get it to do it once, but I just can't get it to do it again. Every time I pull away, and even if I'm 5 miles per hour, it just stays where it is.
okay.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
faulty. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna experiment some more with that. So I'm gonna go up onto the ridgeway we've got here, which is a really lovely open road
Yeah.
with no trees and things. And I thought I'd try it because I think you can get it to fly in front of you as well, and
Yes.
kind of
The front of you, side of you, or behind you. Yeah. Yeah.
and circle you and all
Yeah.
sorts of technical. I'm not very technical. It's got to be said.
Oh, well.
Um,
Good luck
at
with
all.
getting it to follow you. It'll drive you crazy. Any gear upgrades you regret or absolutely recommend?
I think the best thing that I invested in, apart from the actual Osmo cameras, which are expensive, I
Yeah.
think the best bit of kit I've got that I'm really pleased with was the microphone setup. I tried various other ones, like cabled ones that you kind of plug
Mhm.
into the back and plug into a. They were seemed the pickup was really kind of scratchy and grainy and
Yeah.
kept cutting out. So I think the DJI ones are great, and the two that I've got come in a little box, which I don't have, which is a charging box as well. So if you
Yeah.
take them out of your helmet, you just drop them in, and they just charge automatically because it's a battery in the box.
Yeah.
But the quality seems to be great. They, magnetic, haven't lost any yet. So.
Does the wireless DJI mics work with the GoPro? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, do they?
yeah,
Okay, that's good.
it's great. It's actually really good. So a standard GoPro
Yep.
um, with the little bit on the side
Uh-huh.
to slide in, and the DJI mics. So
Oh,
they come in that little
right.
box.
That's the receiver that goes on it as well.
Yeah. So
Then.
the
Yeah.
receiver literally turns itself on when you take it out of the box, and you just slide it into the side of your camera.
Right.
One short little cable from one to t'other, and that's it.
Ah. Okay. Right. Okay.
It's really compact, really small. It doesn't get in the way of my chin and everything else.
Yeah.
Which some of the others I found are a bit too bulky. And then you've got something the actual doing very well about disappearing. The actual little mics that this size,
Yep.
this magnetic, and they just clip inside your helmet.
Yeah. That's what I do with them. Yeah.
I think they're great.
I've got
Yeah,
Velcro in mine, so it just pushes in, and that's it.
yeah, I've got
Yes.
the magnet. So my
Yeah.
magnet in the helmet, which I just glued in,
Right.
and those. But that's probably the best upgrade that I've made on my kind of technology, as it were. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
after failing with several other really bad ones.
Do you film in full auto or do you use manual settings?
I'm like I say, I'm not I'm not very technological. So if it's got a factory setting, it gets used.
Yeah.
The drone's in cine mode, I think. Everything else is literally if it says it's 4K, that's fine by me.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I don't know.
you won't like this next question then.
Oh God, was it something about resolutions and
What
frame
resolution and
rate?
frame rate do you use?
I don't know.
Well, you use 4K. Well, many frames per second.
Oh, lots,
Does
lots
it
of
say
those.
30 or 50 or 60 or?
Mm. Honestly, I just push a button and it does it. But I have to say, there's a I record. I think it's in 4K, so everything
Yeah.
recorded is in 4K. When I then go to my editing software, it does say that the frame rate doesn't match the frame rate on my editing software,
Right.
and do I want to change it? I try and play back everything in my editing software at quarter or half quality, so it doesn't lag quite so much. But I do find with some of them, the drone especially, and the Osmo camera, that I do get a bit of a kind of this stuttering effect, and I think that is because of the frame rate. So maybe I should know a bit more about that than I do.
Yeah. The most important thing there for you is to make sure the drone and the GoPro are using the same frame rate.
Yes, yeah.
Because if you start a timeline as 60 frames per second and your drone's on 30, your computer's having to work harder to fix it, you know.
Yeah. My computer, bless it. I did buy a gaming computer so that I could actually, something that was a bit more kind of capable. Every other laptop I had just wasn't coping with the speed.
They're big files, aren't they? You know,
They're huge. They're huge.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the most memorable ride you've ever been on?
So it's a weird one because it's not a kind of like a specific place, and I don't even remember where it was. But I remember a time, it must have been about a year after I'd got my license, and I was on my Himalayan Royal Enfield, and the sun was shining, beautiful day, dry roads, the bike was feeling great, I was feeling good, and it was tiny little back lanes and roads, and I just had this feeling of really confident, happy. I just didn't want the ride to end. And that was the first time in my kind of riding experience that I'd had that totally relaxed, just having so much fun, that I didn't want to go home. I can't even remember where it was, but it was just this feeling, and I've subsequently had that again in different places. But it was kind of like it clicked, that I just thought, oh, this is what it's all about. I wasn't overthinking everything. I wasn't kind of like, oh my God, there's a lorry, it's going to kill me. There's a cow in a field. There's a this, that, and the other. What's the bike doing? What's that noise? What's this button? It was everything just kind of came together, and
perfect moment.
It was. So that was my memorable ride. Was just nowhere specific, just having it all come together.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Bucket list destinations you'd love to ride and vlog?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I'd like to. I'm not very good with the cold, but I'd like to go up to into the sort of Norway and up into the fjords and do the Viking run. I did a sort of trip up to Lindisfarne on the Scottish borders, which I absolutely loved. I'm a bit of a Viking fiend. I love it. I love a bit of mythology. So I think I'd like to do that. It's a long way.
It's a very long way.
Yeah, it's quite expensive. It's quite difficult to get to. It's a very long journey, as I understand it, because you have to take lots of boats and different things. So that's one. And the other one I keep looking at and thinking, it's another country, a bit like the UK, where it's got a bit of everything, a bit of mountains, a bit of flatlands, a bit of everything, is New Zealand. I think.
Oh, it's amazing looking.
Yeah, I think New Zealand, and because it's kind of more spaced out, I don't think there'd be as much traffic. I think it would just be roads, just gorgeous roads and scenery. I would say Australia, but I'm not very good with bugs and spiders and things. So
I don't see. Okay, there's bits of Australia that are nice, but if the choice of Australia and New Zealand, it would definitely be New Zealand.
Absolutely. I think that the fact that they have got everything, and of course, Lord of the Rings was filmed there, so it can't be that bad.
It's a bonus. Do you prefer riding solo or with a group, and how does that impact your content?
So I started solo, and I have always been a bit of a lone wolf in whatever I do, really. I'm very happy riding on my own. I'm very happy with my own thoughts and in my own company, and sometimes I prefer it. I don't mind riding in smaller groups. So we have a group of sort of 5, 6 of us. And we'll go out if we're usually going to do something, to a show or to go camping. I quite enjoy that. I don't really like big rides. The only one I'll really do is the Distinguished Gentleman's ride. And that's because it's quite a short ride, it's a slow pace because it's usually kind of classic bikes and things. I'm not comfortable in big groups. And obviously now I ride with my biking partner as well. So 2 is fine, maximum 5, and then it starts getting a little bit messy, I think. I think if you're trying to, I've led on occasion and trying to keep everyone together, and you're worrying, not leaving anyone behind, not going too fast, not going too slow. Who knows the way? When do we start?
It's a nightmare.
Does everyone need fuel? Does he need a wee? It's just, Bodger at the back needs to stop and have a cigarette. It's just, it kind of gets to the point where it's too stressful and you're not actually enjoying it. So
definitely. How do you balance riding for pleasure versus riding for content? What I mean by that is there times you go out without the cameras?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I'd take a conscious decision, and it's only been the last sort of 6 months or so that I've done it, that I will set aside either rides or days or events where I might just decide the night before and go, I'm not going to take the cameras to this one. Last weekend we went to a local kind of cherished vehicles show. Great day. We turned up on the bobbers just to have a mooch around and ended up parking with the exhibits. But it was a lovely day, and somebody came up to me there and said, "Oh, I follow your channel. I expect to see you wandering around with the camera and the stick." But you get a little bit kind of, you feel like sometimes you're missing out if you're looking at everything through the lens.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Yep.
So you kind of, I like meeting people, and I like people coming up and saying hi and this, that, and the other. And you feel if you've got a camera, it's a bit of a barrier. People don't like to interrupt you while you're recording, and it's just nice sometimes to enjoy it. So I definitely do set aside times and days where I just ride because I enjoy riding.
Okay. How long does it typically take to produce one vlog?
Too long. So a 30 to 40 minute vlog, which if I'm touring, I'll try and get that sort of length out of one episode. That will take a good 12 to 14 hours to put together. And there's so much that goes into it. The linking up of footage from different SIM cards and different cameras, getting them in to link up so that it's all at the same time, and then put the audio on. I like putting music over my tracks. So, nobody wants to listen to hours of me burbling along or singing or whatever. So I try and put music on, but then you've got to find the right music. And then if I try and put in silly little interludes or just text or facts or whatever, you've got to check your facts. And then it's such a time consuming process. I do enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, then nobody's going to enjoy watching it. If I'm not putting it together, it's going to be boring. If I'm watching it back and I go, oh God, there's just 10 minutes of me warbling on about something irrelevant, I'll take it out. But it's the whole process of cutting hours and hours of footage into snippets.
That's the thing I find the hardest is if you've maybe got, let's say you've got 2 hours of footage, it's cutting that down to 30 minutes or 15 minutes of that. And but I think I want to keep that, but I can't keep that. But then I'm trying to think, well, what would somebody else want to see? Would they want to see that? And it's a nightmare trying to cut bits out.
At the end of the day, this is why I try and remember why I started it in the first place. It's because it was for me and it's my diary. So if I see something that at the time I thought, that's so cool, I'm not going to leave it out because I don't think it'll please the general public. I'm going to leave it in because actually that's what I started it for, was I could look back and go, oh, do you remember that? And do you remember this? And so, it's a fine line. And I think it would be very easy to slip into a kind of what does everyone want to see rather than what do I want it to be.
That is.
You can't please everyone, as I'm sure we're about to come on to.
What's your editing process like? Do you do it all yourself or?
Yeah, I've had some companies, and I'm sure you're the same, that you get emails every now and then from companies saying, hey, let's take all this away from you and you pay us and we'll create a vlog for you. No, I do it myself because I enjoy the process, because I think it's what makes it your vlog, not something that could just be created by anybody. The things that I include, because they mean something to me, hopefully that's what people are getting the impression of. So yeah.
I've often thought about recording my 2 hours or whatever and giving it to someone else, another motovlogger, and say, right, let me see what you can do with that, just to see what it's like.
I think everyone's got their own style, so that would
Yeah.
be quite interesting to see what people come out with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll keep it in house. I think I'm not going to outsource it to somebody.
It'd be expensive as well, no doubt.
Oh, I'm sure it would be.
Yeah.
You know, we can get you hundreds of thousands of views, okay, but it's going to cost me more money than it's going to be worth.
Yeah. Ever get burnout from filming everything? How do you manage it?
Occasionally, and this is a behind the scenes thing, but if I'm out on a trip and I'm out on a vlog or out on a journey and there's lots and lots and lots of footage, and then it comes towards the end of the vlog and it just goes, nice little piece of riding, nice little piece of music, and fade to black, it's because I've just turned everything off. It gets to the point where you've run out of things to say. You kind of, nobody wants to watch half an hour of, you know, some woman bimbling around. So, you know, it sometimes I'm done, and that's when my storyboard goes out the window, and I forget to do the kind of I always forget to do at the end. You're kind of, a lot of people do this. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And I always forget. I hardly ever do it. And sometimes it's because I've just put all the cameras away and kind of thought, okay, that's it for the day. I'm done.
I try to remember that as well. I say, like, thanks for watching, blah, but sometimes I forget. So if my video just ends, it's because I forgot. So
this is it. And yeah, it is a kind of like, if mine just come to a sudden stop, it's because I looked at the footage and didn't have a close on it. I'm just like, damn, none one.
How do you connect with your audience outside YouTube? Do you have socials and things like that? Or?
I don't have kind of meetups or meet and greets, but that said, it has happened. So I do go to a lot of bike shows because I'm still learning, and I like to see a lot of different bikes, and I can appreciate different things even if I don't understand them necessarily. So you won't catch me walking around the NEC going, here's the latest Kawasaki, blah, 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 with its rumble grommets and whatever, because I ain't got a clue what I'm on about, and I'm not going to pretend to. But I do go to a lot of shows, and a lot of people have come up and recognise me, and I love that. I love talking to people about you know, their bikes, about why they got started, about what they enjoy about the channel, and I always carry stickers with me for my channel, so you know, I dish them out to people. But other than the usual social media platforms, not much. I have been occasionally contacted by people who want to go out for a ride out. I don't often do that. One's being the exception, where a gentleman wanted to go to the Dragon Rally. Have you heard of the Dragon Rally?
Heard of it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, North Wales, once a year in February. Barking mad, freezing cold. You kind of got to be a special kind of camper to go and do that one. Having that said, I've done it 3 years on the bounce. So, but one gentleman did contact me and say he was from this sort of south of England neck of the woods, was going on his own. He was a sort of elderly-ish gentleman in his 60s, 70s, didn't want to go on his own, and you know, would it be okay if he joined along with our group? So yeah, I said, why not? So we met up with him at a service station, and he bimbled along and had a lovely time with the rest of us. So yeah, I wouldn't do one-on-one meets, but you know, safety, security, and all that being what it is.
Maybe
I'm far too scary for people to, you know, want to meet.
What's the most surprising comment or direct message you've received?
Have you done many interviews with ladies before?
You're the first.
Oh, there you go. So I think I've had 3 proposals of marriage. One proposal of a kind of like, come move in with me and be my housewife in London. The surprising ones are actually the unusual ones that kind of like, what's an example? So I remember a couple of gentlemen have contacted me and said that their wives now watch me, and if I can do it, they can do it too. So a couple of guys have been so pleased that their missus, instead of now sitting on the back, wants her own bike and her own ride, and she's going to get out there and get her license. Right. And some of them have kind of kept me updated with how they've got on, and they're now fully fledged riders and loving it. So that's really surprised me that people have said that something I've done or I've said has triggered them to go out and get their license in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah, it's good.
That's very surprising.
Yeah.
But really lovely.
Yeah, really nice. How do you deal with trolls or negative feedback?
I try not to delete comments. Now, if you put yourself out in the public eye, as you know, you're going to get people who are what they call keyboard warriors, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be some.
Yeah.
I've always been a tomboy. I've always got a thick skin. I try not to let things get to me. My day job has kind of given me that thicker skin as well. As a paramedic, I kind of have to take a certain amount of negativity. So how do I deal with the trolls? I've only deleted, I think in the last 2 years, I've only deleted a couple of posts which have been just a bit too personal. So those have gone. Everything else, I actually try and be honest and be completely clear, and I leave on there so other people can see as well. I think that one of the most recent ones was when we've been camping, and somebody felt the need to point out that, God, I looked rough. And I'm like, I've just slept in the back of a van. I've got nothing. I don't get up and put a full face of makeup on and do my hair before I get in front of the camera. What you see is what you get. And sometimes that's not very pretty. So I've had quite a few, God, you look rough. I think the one that made me chuckle was I did a review on the CF Moto when I first got it, the bike.
Yep.
And somebody said, I'll wait until a gentleman does a review of this bike. I mean, fair.
Honestly, some people see when they're behind the keyboard.
This is it. I mean, would you say that to someone's face? I don't know. Maybe they would.
They wouldn't.
Fair play, but
they definitely wouldn't.
So I don't delete them. Sometimes I'll come back with a really sarcastic comment. Very rarely, they'll just get blocked. But yeah, it is what it is. You put yourself out there, you're going to get it in abundance sometimes. But I usually come back with some cheeky little quip.
Quite right.
How do you deal with them?
I've only ever had my channel's obviously minuscule compared to yours, but so I don't get as many comments as you probably get. I just ignore them.
Yeah.
Just ignore it.
I find it fun though. And the thing is, what people don't realise is that if they're trolling you and they're putting a comment out like, God, you look rough, then that's great because you've now increased my, my algorithm by commenting. So thanks.
Tips for someone who wants to start motovlogging today?
Don't buy expensive kit. Buy second-hand kit and work out what you like and what works for you. Learn by other people's mistakes, but do not invest in hundreds of pounds worth of stuff to start off with. You can get started, and then as you enjoy it or you work out what you need, then you can make improvements. And it's about having a plan, about having a theme, I think. So for example, yours is interviewing at the moment. You're doing lots of motovloggers.
Yep.
So you've got to have a theme or a style. if you want to do bushcraft camping, that's all you do. If you want to do just going and doing motorbike reviews, then that's all you do. If, you know, me, I do a little bit of everything, but I do it in my style. So I think that's kind of what's keeping me going at the moment.
Yeah.
Have a theme.
Yeah. Good advice. Any collabs or projects you're excited about in the future?
I don't know. Am I allowed to mention like companies?
Mm-hmm.
So you do get people as your channel grows, you do get companies reaching out to you and saying, "Oh, do you want to try this? Will you try that? Will you put this on your channel?" I'm very picky about what I put on and don't put on. I think it's very easy to go down the kind of like, and here's a mug I bought from Sainsbury's route, isn't it great? I didn't actually get this from Sainsbury's. I have no idea where it's from. So you have to be very careful because it's very easy to say yes to all these people because they're try this, try that. But then you have to kind of commit to it and you have to include it, and it doesn't always fit with what you're doing or your channel, and nobody wants to see adverts. So I've been fussy, but one company that reached out to me recently, and I think it could be quite a laugh, is Temu.
Right, okay.
And I quite fancy doing an absolute how cheap can you go when you go camping. Other people have done it, I think, on different guises, just camping, but motorbike camping, you have to go cheap, light, small, handy, compact. So, and I thought I'm going to perhaps do a see how cheap and small can I go with a Temu camp on a motorbike without getting wet.
Yeah, so, without getting soaked and freezing cold.
That's the one. I mean, I might have to have a backup plan, which might involve B&B, but
good idea.
Yeah, I might do that.
What's next for your channel? Any big plans?
Well, we've got a big trip around Europe coming up in September.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I can't wait. There's a lot of countries I've not been to before. So we're doing Channel Tunnel over to France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Northern Italy, Southern France, Northern Spain, Andorra, and home.
That's a nice trip.
Very nice trip. Mostly camping. A couple of B&Bs if it rains or if the weather changes.
Yep.
I have before gone out really structured with my trips and gone, right, I'm going here on this day, I'm doing this on this day. I'm actually going to do this as much more of a kind of, I like it here, I'm going to stay an extra day. Nothing to see, I'm going to push on through. So completely out of my comfort zone because I do like to have quite a plan. This is going to be more of a wing it and see.
Yeah.
The one place that I'm a little bit trepidation towards is we're doing the Stelvio Pass in Italy, which is renowned for lots and lots and lots of steep hairpins and switchbacks.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to do that on the CF Moto, having not done that before.
Sure, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I got crash bands.
Just try to make sure you're going down it and not up it.
I think you have to go up one side and down the other because I did think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I only like turning right, so there's that.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Charlie, that is you answered all the questions.
Bro, did I talk a huge amount?
43 minutes.
Brilliant.
That's perfect.
Sorry.
Thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate that.
That's fine. It's fun.
And no doubt I'll probably bump into you at ABR.
Yeah, absolutely. Come and say hi. I'll be the one with the camera because I will be recording ABR. It's great.
I was thinking of taking my Insta360 with me.
Do it. Everyone hates it.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. ABR is fab. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
And Nora Lee will be there, Itchy Boots.
Yep, she's there.
So I'm gonna get my book and get that signed and really enjoy the bands.
Yeah, they were really good last year.
Amazing. And the best thing about ABR, apart from the facilities and everything being spotless and the camping being great, was the fact that it's literally no more expensive to buy a pint there than it is down your local boozer. Yep, might be for you actually, but
definitely. Yeah.
But they don't ramp the prices up which I think is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, without a doubt. So thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
And I'll let you know before the video comes out.
Okay, all right. Yeah. You take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.